Tony Khan was on Busted Open Radio and revealed that AEW Dynamite will feature a casino battle royale match. Guys, obviously AEW is looking to crown an interim world champion, and we all know how confusing it's been. But today there are 4 people we are going to show. I'm going to put them on the screen. We're going to talk about them individually as to why they might be the Joker, because it has been officially confirmed that the Joker will be revealed number 1 in the match. Obviously, AEW is trying to make a big splash. These are the 4 that I think are the most legitimate debuts or returns that you can expect. And it all starts off with New Japan. Obviously, New Japan being in the mix tonight. We know David Finlay will be on AEW Dynamite. We also know that Tanahashi was the one who challenged or accepted the challenge for CM Punk's match. Obviously, with CM Punk being out, we know that there are some plans at Dominion for New Japan to be involved still within this interim championship match, which is great. I like the idea of the crossover with AEW and NJPW. So whoever the Joker may be, there's always going to be an opportunity for a New Japan talent to walk through that forbidden door and be the Joker. Now, with that being said, I don't think it's going to be an NJPW talent that has shown up before, so I don't think it would be like Jay White or Hikuleo or something like that. But I feel like if it is going to be a New Japan talent, it is going to be somebody who has yet to appear. So that also means no Kenta or anything like that. Obviously, AEW can do that, but the idea for AEW at this point in time is really, I think what they're really trying to do is create some shock factor when it comes to the Casino Royale. This would be a great way to do so. Obviously, helps set up Forbidden Door, because if this New Japan talent is the Joker and loses, whoever they get eliminated by can ultimately set up a singles match for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. So again, there's a lot of logic behind having an NJPW talent show up. In fact, I would actually say it is probably the most realistic approach to doing so. With that being said, I want to turn our attention to number 2, which is a shocking return, which would be Kenny Omega. And the reason why I think Kenny Omega could very well be in this situation where he returns is because there hasn't been a lot of talk in terms of when Kenny Omega is expected to return. We all know that Kenny Omega's injury, it's a very tough situation for the guy. But also, I feel like AEW is very quiet about how things go backstage with injuries, returns, debuts, things like that. I do believe to a certain extent Kenny Omega could very well be returning. You know, I don't think this is out of all 4, I think this is probably the least likely. And this is largely due to the fact that he has injury, but we just don't know how serious his injury is and when he would actually return. So the idea that Kenny Omega could very well return, it would be really cool. Obviously, at that point, Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley would be a really, really nice match to set up, then to obviously decide who is going to go on and compete for the interim championship. Obviously, there's history there, plus 2 former world champions. It makes a lot of sense for AEW to do this on a business scale. But ultimately, I think the end result, regardless, is going to be an NJPW champion. So a person from Japan winning the belt versus CM Punk. I think that's eventually how it's going to go down, to crown the first, not even the first, but the undisputed champion, right? So nonetheless, it's going to be very interesting to see. But Kenny Omega is number 2 on the list. Guys, I have an idea here. Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian, where the hell has he been? In order to make him feel important, you're going to have to put him on TV. You're going to have to put him on TV. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We have seen teases of him. We've seen him in the crowd. But what the hell is happening? They have not put him on TV. We don't know what's happening with Kip Sabian. So I want to make it very clear. Kip Sabian would be returning. Obviously, him being the Joker would show that he is a major return. It would also show a lot in terms of how far he makes it into the match. Just saying, just food for thought. If Kip Sabian's returning, becomes the Joker, he makes it into the final 4 of the Battle Royale, gets tossed out by an NJPW talent, right? A talent from New Japan, right? If somebody from New Japan takes out Kip Sabian, now you have a pretty big singles match for Kip Sabian at Forbidden Door. That could be a really good way to get people behind Kip Sabian, because right now, as far as all that stuff goes, he has lost all momentum. So that is number 3 on the list. So again, to recap, Kenny Omega returning, Kip Sabian returning, or some talent from New Japan. There's a lot of people you can put in the mix from New Japan, a lot of credible opponents. But also, guys, it comes down to our final 4. Our 4th member, and that is Johnny Gargano. Guys, I've been saying this for a while. We don't know what the hell's happening with Johnny Gargano. Obviously, he's a family man, taking care of his child, being a good husband, all that good stuff. He's living life. He's on Twitch. He's hanging out. He's on twitch.tv, just like I'm on twitch.tv/Ango. Don't forget to follow if you're not. But yeah, Johnny Gargano's doing his thing. That would be a really, really, really massive debut for him to come out number one and to actually win the entire Battle Royale, to go on to face Jon Moxley for an opportunity to go, guys, it's got to happen. At some point, Johnny Gargano's got to show up somewhere. Why not? Why not do this? Why not have Johnny Gargano show up here? It just makes you think that potentially AEW will kick things off with a debut. This could be a major surprise. Kip Sabian's been gone for a long time. That's not major, but it could feel major if AEW makes it major. Kenny Omega returning would be major because Kenny Omega is a major name. Johnny Gargano is a major name that is yet to debut. So that's probably the one that would get the most shock factor, the most press, the most coverage, the most talk, the most social media engagement. So what do you guys think about that? Guys, I want to change topics. I want to talk about something really cool. We talked about it live on Twitch as well. But for those who don't know, NJPW is introducing the NJPW Strong Tag Team Championship Tournament. Now, the reason why I'm actually bringing this up as well is because with New Japan, NJPW Strong, we have seen a little bit of crossover between talent from NJPW and AEW. Obviously, the NJPW LA Dojo had shown up on AEW Dark. So basically with NJPW Strong announcing the new Tag Team Championship belts, which by the way, I think they look sexy, and the fact that there's going to be an 8-team single elimination tournament to decide the first champions begin at the Ignition show. I think this is actually a great opportunity for AEW to send some talent that way as well. Maybe it's the Factory. Obviously, they've had their stuff with LA Dojo. But it's really cool to see new Tag Team Championship belts with NJPW Strong. I really think, NJPW Strong is kind of in a weird situation as far as as far as their brand and stuff. They're trying to pick up some steam in the United States, and they're drawing relatively small crowds, but those small, intimate crowds make for a great show, so there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know how much NJPW is really trying to expand in the United States as well. I don't know if they're really, really trying to expand, but the idea of them having a tournament, having tag team championship belts, obviously AEW and New Japan are working together. Obviously tag teams, there's a plethora of tag teams in AEW. It makes sense for them to continue to strengthen this relationship. Plus, don't forget Impact Wrestling as well can very well be involved. The dynamic between New Japan, Impact, and AEW is very intriguing to me. So I think this would be really, really cool. But I think these belts look good. What do you guys think? Obviously, a lot of talk about New Japan today and AEW. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who do you guys think is going to be the Joker? Do you guys like these surprises or not? I want to hear from you.